All right. Okay, students. So what chapters are going on in your school currently? Like which chapter is going on in biology?
Mm,
The fundamental unit of life. It's the same first chapter.
The fundamental unit of life only is going on.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about you, Farhan?
Yes, ma'am. For me also the same chapter.
The same chapter. Okay. Okay. Until where? Like what point are you people studying currently? Like which topic in this chapter?
I'm
What?
Wait,
for
one by
us
one.
we are studying
Hmm.
in lysosomes.
Lysosomes.
Yes.
Okay. And what about you, Nahid?
Osmosis.
Osmosis. All right. Switch on your video, Nahid.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Okay, so let us start with the first chapter, that is the fundamental unit of life. Now, in this particular chapter, we're going to study every single thing about the cell. What are the components of the cell? What are the things that go inside? How it works? What is the use? And every single thing that there is. Now, like both of you have your NCRT books with you? The science books are there? Like
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
you have gotten it?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
All right, great. Okay. And like as far as your supplementary studying books goes, like first of all, NCRT books will be great help. And secondly, apart from those, you can take certain other books also, such as Exemplar, right? You can use the Exemplar books for solving the questions. Okay. And I'll tell you one or two more books so that you can use them also for your studying purpose. Clear? And also, while I am teaching in the class, you have to pay attention. Once you pay attention here, every single thing is going to be so easy that you don't even have to take tension of anything. How do you like biology, people? Okay, what is your favorite subject out of everything? Favorite subjects?
Main main subjects like or any subject.
Any subject?
It's obviously P most likely.
PE, physical education.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And what about you, Farhan?
I like science.
You like science? Okay. And Nahid, you don't like any academic subject?
English maybe.
English, maybe. Okay, why did you
Yeah.
switch off your video?
Ma'am, I don't like showing my face.
Ah, it's all right. Only I can see you. No one else can see you.
I know,
And
ma'am.
yeah, so it doesn't even get recorded. But I need to see you, right? Then only I'll feel like you're there in the class. Switch on your video. It's all right.
Okay.
Yes. And you have such a nice face. Why would you not like to show your face to me, huh? Okay,
Um,
so one of you likes PE and one of you likes science. All right. And English, maybe. Isn't it, Nahid?
yeah.
Hmm. Okay. You don't like science?
Me, I'm not a big fan of it.
You're not a big fan of science. All right. Anyway, but students, like it is my guarantee that look, one of you likes science, so half of my work is done, and one of you don't like science. So now it's my guarantee that you'd like science from now on. Okay. So yeah. So maybe you like biology most out of everything, but okay, we'll not be biased. Now, starting with this chapter, that is fundamental unit of life. Now, see the meaning why the chapter name has been written in such a way. We should know that also. See, the fundamental means it is the basic, the most important thing. Meaning, without this unit, no one can survive, and that is what it is. So the fundamental unit of life is the cell, and without the cell, no organism can be considered as living. Any organism that does not have a cell present in it is not a living organism. Clear? So the cell is the basic, the most important unit of life. Okay. And also, like no one write anything right now, I'll give you time to note down. Okay. Now, talking about the cell, so we'll like the most common and the definition that you'll find everywhere. It is that the cell is the structural and the functional unit of life, meaning the life functions because cell is present, and the structure for the body of any organism is because of the cell only. So, cell is the structural and functional unit of life. Now, talking about, see, now in the initial time when people did not know what cell was, right? Now there were multiple scientists that started their studying about it. So they started the studying as to what the cell is, what does it do, what is the function that it performs, and everything. So the first function, like the first person to discover the cell was Robert Hooke. So Robert Hooke in the year 1665, what did he do? He discovered the cell. Now, how did he discover the cell? He studied the cork cell. You people know the bark of a tree, the brown portion of the tree you have seen, right? So when you take out the cell from that portion of the tree, that is known as a cork cell. So when what he did now, he took the cell and he studied it under a microscope. Okay. And he, because of that, said that, okay, now all of the cells in the cork, they look sort of the same. So he called them as cells. So Robert Hooke was is responsible for the discovery of the cell. And from what cells? So the cork cells of the bark of the tree. Now after that, there came another person, but before that we have to see another thing, like depending upon the number of cells that are present in the organism. Okay, so depending upon the number of cells that are present in the organism is of two types. First one is unicellular organism. Now it is in the name only. Uni here does not mean university. Uni means one. In the terms of science, uni means one. And cellular means anything that is made up of cell is known as cellular. So the organism that is made up of one cell is unicellular. And then the organism that is made up of more than, now multi means more than one, and cellular means made up of cells. So the organisms that are made up of more than one cells, they are known as multicellular organisms. Now let us see the example. For unicellular organism, the most common and the best example is bacteria. Bacteria is that, everyone knows what bacteria is, right? Those are the microorganisms that cause many diseases in us humans, right? So these bacteria, they are unicellular or single-celled organism. They can be also called as single-celled organisms. Now talking about the multicellular organisms, so we are multicellular. Like human is multicellular, cow, dog, and all the animals mostly are multicellular organisms. This much is clear, students?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now,
Yes.
Robert Hooke discovered the cell. The first cell was discovered by him. But then came another scientist, and his name was Anton von Leeuwenhoek. So in the year 1674, he discovered the living cell, the first living cell. Okay, so he was the person who discovered the first living cell. And their names are extremely important to remember because they are asked almost everywhere. The talk about Robert Brown, the talk about Anton von Leeuwenhoek is asked everywhere. This much is clear, students? All right. Now, the shape and size of cells vary according to the functions that they perform. Now see, all of the cells that are present in the body of a multicellular organism, each of them have their own functions to perform, depending upon like where they are present. For example, in our muscular system, muscle cells are present. Now, muscle cells are responsible for movement and locomotion, right? Movement mostly. Now, their shape and size will be modified according to the function they are responsible for. Same goes for every single cell that are there. So, the shape and the size, like whether the cell is oval in shape, whether it is square in shape. So, the shape and the size, whether it is a bigger cell or a smaller cell, it varies depending on the function. Clear? All right. Now, you people can note it down till here and then we'll continue. Also, while you're noting down, first you read everything, then you understand. If you have any doubts, you can ask me, okay? And while you're noting down, you can switch off your video, right? Comfortably. It's fine.
Ma'am, done.
Both of you are done?
Yes, ma'am.
Finished, ma'am.
Done, students? Students, are you done?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes,
All,
ma'am.
done, students?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. Now let's talk about this particular thing which is known as cell theory. Now, during the time that cells were being discovered and everything, at that time there came two biologists. The first one was Clyden in the year 1838, and then there was Swan in the year 1839. So they started to study about the cell, and they started to tell us about how it functions and everything. So they gave 2 points. So the first point that they gave was that all plants and animals are made up of cells, meaning every single organism that there is, it is made up of cell, and cell is the basic unit of life. So these two are the points that were given by Schleiden and Swan for cell theory. But these points they did not tell as to how the cells are made and everything. So then came another scientist whose name was Rudolf Virchow. Now, Rudolf Virchow in the year 1855, he gave another statement as to all cells come from pre-existing cells. He said that the cells that are made, the new cells, they're coming from the old cells, meaning the old cells divide and form the new cells. So this is the third statement, and this statement was given in the year 1855 by Rudolf Virchow. And then this was known as the cell theory. Now, all the organism, whether it is all the plants, all the microorganism, and all the animals, they come, or you can say the cell theory is for them, except for viruses. Viruses, they are an exception to the cell theory. Why? Because they are not truly living. And how they are not truly living? So mostly what happens is that viruses are dead outside the living organism, outside the body of the living organism. So when it is not infecting any organism, then the virus is dead. But as soon as it comes inside the body of the organism, it gets alive when it is present, or when it is infecting, when it is infecting the living organism, then it becomes living. But apart from that, they are truly, like, they're not truly living. Why? Because those organisms that are truly living, they are living in any case. They live in any case, right? But these viruses, they're not living outside the organism. They are dead outside, but they are living when present inside. So that is why viruses are an exception to the cell theory. Now, the questions that can come from these is like, what is cell theory and who proposed or who gave the cell theory? Then another question that can be asked is like, who discovered the cell and in which year was cell discovered? So this much is clear, students. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
All right. Now you can note this down. Done, student?
Yes, ma'am.
Done, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any doubts up until now? Any doubts?
No.
All right. Now let's talk about the cell size, because we're talking everything about the cell. So now we'll talk about the size of the cell. Now see, as far as the size of the cell goes, it it ranges a lot. Okay, so size of different cell ranges between broad limits, meaning it varies a lot. Now how does it vary a lot? We have to see that. See, there are some plants and animals that are visible to the naked eye, and then there are some that we cannot even see with the naked eye. We have to use microscopes to visualize them. So some plants and animals, some plants and animal cell are easily visible, are easily visible to the naked eye. But there are many cells that are visualized, with the help of microscopes. With the help of microscopes. Without microscopes, we can't even see them. So with the help of microscopes, we visualize those cells. Now, what happens is that there are, like how we have dimensions, we have centimeters, we have kilometers, right? But if we are talking about the cell, then we know that the cells that are visualized by microscopes, they are only, you can say, micrometers in diameter. Okay, so the cells that are seen with the help of microscopes are only a few micrometers in diameter. This much is clear, students? Like they are so tiny that we cannot even see them normally. So we have to use the microscope to see them. This much is clear, students? All right, now you can note this down.